Hello students, today I am going to start to teach computer of class 6. Chapter number is 1 and the chapter name is computer languages. So students, as we all know that we have already discussed about some previous topics regarding this chapter 1 like computer hardware, general purpose computers, types of general purpose computers, and after that we have discussed computer software, in which we all also know about the types of computer software. Do you remember? It was system software, application software and utility softwares. So in this video today we will discuss about computer languages. Okay, so let's start. Computer languages or programming languages have evolved over a period of time. Okay, first of all we should understand computer languages. What is computer language? It also called programming languages. It is the medium by which a computer user understand the things regarding computer languages to the computer. Okay, then after, it is the medium by which we can give command and instruction to the computer. Okay, so let's start. A programming language is a set of commands and instructions used by computer programmers to make a software in order to communicate with a computer. So students, each computer has its own symbols and characters. According to some estimates, there are more than 200 languages. So students, a programming language is a set of commands and instruction. It is a set of command and instruction, and it was used by any programmer to make software in order to communicate with a computer. It makes easy way to communicate with the computer. Okay, we make a software through which we can give command, we can instruct to the computer. Okay, and the medium is called a language. Okay, as we all know that language is the source by which we can give commands, give instruction, tell to anyone how we are feeling, how we are suffering. Okay, so the same thing, if you want to communicate with computer, we need computer languages. Okay, each computer language has its own symbols and characters, and in the languages there are has its own symbols and characters. Okay, now programming languages are divided into different types mentioned here, like first GL, first generation language, machine language 0 to S and 1S. Next one is 2GL, it means second generation language. In this, the device were used assembly languages and it was called mnemonics. And next one is 3GL, high level languages. The example like Fortran, Pascal, C, C++, Basic, Java. These are the example of 3GL languages. It means third generation languages. Next is fourth generation languages, very high level language. Access, APL, these are the example. And next one is 5GL. It is a 5GL language. It means fifth generation language. Very high level languages. It is used for artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence means in which a computer can think, can decide on its own. Okay, now low level languages. A low level language is a set of instructions which are generally known as machine codes. So basically, in the low level languages, students, The set of instructions mostly instructions are generated into the machine codes. These low level language are very easily understandable by the machine. Okay. Now, first generation computer language, it means machine language. Machine language is the first generation computer language. It is a programming language that can be directly interpreted by the computer hardware. It is made up of strings of binary numbers, that is a combination of zeros and ones. So it means in the first generation computer language, 0 and 1, the codes of binary numbers were used as a machine language. Okay. In early days, binary coding had to be done manually by punching, as there were no keyboards. Even binary coding for doing small calculation would take months. In the early times, binary coding also done by manually. Okay, sir. Okay, students. And the binary coding for calculation, it takes a lot of time, around 1 month, 2 months. Okay, therefore it was expensive and prone to error, and it is expensive also, and it is on risk to be prone on errors. Checking instruction to locate error was even more tedious and time consuming than writing them. So it takes a lot of time to instruct and to program. Okay. Now second generation computer languages, it means 2GLs, and it is also called assembly language. Assembly language emerged in early 1950s in order to overcome some of the difficulties of the machine language. So students, in second generation computer languages, assembly language were used. These languages operated on simple codes with instruction set that had more than 200 instructions each. Okay, we can give 200 instructions each into the second generation computer language by the simple codes, and the operation codes and operands were given in form of alphanumeric symbols that known as mnemonic codes. So students, in the second generation computer language, there were no use of zeros and ones. In this generation, only alphanumeric symbols were used, and it was known as mnemonic codes. Okay, therefore it was easy for programmer to write programming instruction, and it was easy to write by the programmers. However, for a computer to understand assembly language, it had to be first translated into machine language through a translator called assembler or compiler. So the use of this assembly language is based on byte translation, and it translates into the machine language through a translator called assembler and compiler. Assembler and compiler are the devices by which we can translate assembly language into the machine language. Okay, it acts as a translator. Assembly language helps save time and fewer errors were made. It was save time, it makes less errors. It was also used to rectify errors, and the language also used for finding out the errors, but coding was still time consuming. Coding in this generation were also still time consuming. These languages were also computer branch dependent. For different brands of computer, the assembly language coding had to be modified. In the next generation, throughout the generation, the improvement in the languages were going on. Okay, so students, next video of the next topics I will send you, okay, soon. And for understanding the properly, you can watch it again, and the previous videos also I have already sent regarding this chapter. You can watch it and understand it, the chapter, properly.